Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Where you at? 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 Where you at?
Hi everybody, welcome back to the first episode of season 2. Just starting off the day in the truck in Big Daphne. We still haven't got our wheels on yet, just waiting for the tyres to come. Once they come, I'll get them on and obviously show you how good that looks. I've just started the day. It is 12 o'clock, so it's lunchtime, but I start off this morning in the office, just getting through mountains of paperwork, MOT, quality control, just abundance of crap really, but it's got to be done. So got all that done this morning. Then me and Gary had a quick look at the parts shelves, because there's parts just like for about 2 or 3 weeks worth of parts that either they weren't required, customer didn't come in, sometimes a choice on like filters or calipers, so we always get both, so it's quicker for the customer, just get them in, done, we pay for both and we just return one. So all the returns never got done, just because basically I would say over the last month we haven't had like a full amount of staff in. So I've been off, Gary's been off, Andy's been off, Carl's been off, Ken's been off, Josh has been off. Josh is off this week. Josh will have the next week off. He's picked a really good week to be off actually, because the weather up here is amazing. I'm sure it tells you somewhere in his cab. There you go, 24 degrees outside. It's probably about 650 degrees inside here. I've had to close the window for the microphone because you can't hear a thing. So this week, what have I got on? Today in the workshop, got a really nice M4 in for a major service. It's getting every fluid and every serviceable item changed. That's in with Callum at the minute, so that's probably the 4th or 5th one of them Callum's done now. So like I say, every service item that is to be changed gets changed on this service that this car's getting now. I think I need a service because my head's leaking, it's that hot. So what else have we got? We done time and chain yesterday on a Ingenium, surprise surprise. They're getting almost too common now, so if you have got an Ingenium and you hear even a tiny little rattle on start or anything like that, first thing to check is make sure your oil's alright, because that chain tensioner is oil supplied. Make sure your car's well serviced obviously, but the stretching of the chain is really common at the minute. I've seen at the minute it'll just keep getting more and more, because obviously the Ingeniums are starting to get old now. We've changed chains from anywhere from probably 35,000 miles on the clock up over. On the other side of that, we've seen cars never had a chain yet, and we've only changed them due to the customer wanting it done in case it snapped, but literally there was no wear on the guides, the chain wasn't elongated, nothing like that. Car 150,000 mile on. So it goes back to the same as what happened on the 3 litres. I'm going to have to open the sunroof here. So on them 3 litres, the V6s, so we had one pretty new car, had done 36,000 mile, serviced every, I think it was 6,000 or 8,000 mile. It was way over serviced the car, if that's even, I mean that's not even possible, over serviced I suppose, but the car was very well serviced. It was probably double on what the manufacturers recommended, had everything it could have needed, and yet the crank snapped at 36,000 mile. And we personally had a Discovery 4, so we bought it as a stopgap. I think the car had 150,000 possibly on it. We serviced that car. Again, that was we serviced our cars probably between 5,000 and 6,000 miles. So it was getting oil changed, it was getting a genuine filter, and it was getting Royal Purple oil, which in my opinion still is the best oil money can buy. It's not cheap, but it's like having insurance on the engine. That car then did a further, I think, 100,000 miles, so we're getting close to 300,000 miles on the clock. We'll put the trailer on, which, to be fair, it probably did 100,000 miles with us with the trailer on. Trailer never came off that car. done a lot of miles, a lot of it motorway, but some of it around the doors. Anyway, close to 300k. It snapped the crank also, so it just shows you it doesn't matter how well you service them. Sometimes, you know, if your number's up, it's definitely up, because you know the crank snapping, the bilk, and it's definitely £14,000 up over. Some of the bills run at 25,000, depending on what car it is and what damage is done. Sometimes you get turbo damage. It's endless really what happens. But basically, I just wanted to do a quick video this morning, just to let you know what's going on, and also it might sound nuts just to get myself back into it. Never even looked at a camera properly for over a month, and it's been strange because we've had 365 days. Nearly every one of those days I've been in front of the camera. 52 episodes in the last season, really good season. And even though we've stopped putting episodes out for a month, I think it was, we're still gaining subscribers. I just want to say thank you for the calls, emails. We've had cards to the garage. Someone's wrote us a letter asking us when we're back and that they missed the videos. That's why we do them. We don't do the videos for us, we do the videos for you, obviously, because the amount of times we were getting questions asked of sort of how the garage runs and what goes on, and then we started doing the videos to let you know that, and everybody seemed to appreciate it. So, and we appreciated the good feedback. I'm gonna have to definitely leave it there, because I think I'm gonna melt on this seat here. The biggest mistake with this truck is that I didn't buy a truck with aircon. But thank you for watching this morning. Try and get something this afternoon, but I know that Ed and Jim from Duo Media are on a job, I think in the Midlands, maybe. So if we don't see you soon, we'll definitely see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching today. Cheers. Right, good morning everybody. It is Friday, so, and I'm trying to hand hold this camera as I forgot the suction mount thing with the windscreen. So well, it's Friday, and bloody hell, this camera is all over the place. And we've just, well, I was going to do a video on the day, I think it was on Wednesday, but again, just went absolutely crazy. I just need to try and diary 5 minutes just to get some time on here really. I've just pulled out the Team Valley. The traffic's been absolutely wild this week because the kids have just gone back, and if you do live in the northeast, the whole of the Team Valley slip road and everything's changed on the A1. I know today we've got the engine coming for the Discovery Sport, so which is the 2-litre Ingenium. Hello. What else have we got going on? I think the rest of it's not too bad. It's servicing and general repairs. We've got another milk float in for, I think, a wheel bearer and possibly 2 tyres service, I believe. And there's another milk float. I've just pulled up to the car park and see another milk float. Another milk float in the car park there. So let's see what we've got. Right, I'll put this outside. I'm just trying to hold this, reverse and wake up all at the same time. Look at that. In one. Right. Let's go see what Jimmy's doing. Where is it? It's not working properly. Where's Gary? There's no Gary. No Jimmy.
Oh yes.
What's going on here, boys?
What's happening here, like?
What's this coffee club?
Like batteries not included around the corner.
Team Valley Starbucks.
You didn't have that burger, huh?
We certainly did. Well, couldn't think of nothing else to have, so I had 2 burgers. Hey, open the door. Better look like Gary. Oh, Paul, I would think that there should be shorts today after it's going to be hot.
I don't want to be going.
Right, so I spoke to you this morning coming into work and then dived into a bit of paperwork. I had to do my MOT assessment for this year. Andy done his, Josh done his, so we're done for another year on the MOT assessments. Everybody passed, thankfully. I've ended up coming here to do a wheel bearing because I'm not the only person who use it, but I can confidently use this tool anyway. So this is the on-the-car wheel bearing tool. Ironically, we've actually took it off the car because it's slightly easier, but I'll quickly run you through. So there's a bit of press on the back, like a hydraulic around the back here, loads of different adapters. So you just pump the pedal up, so there's the wheel bearings in there. So hopefully when I press this, that's just cracked there, so it's coming out. You can see the wheel bearings going out the hub. So hopefully a few pumps of this and I should have removed the bearing. So when you strip all this down. Oh, hello Andrew.
Hello dear.
What are you doing today?
An engine.
An engine. Andy's doing yet another engine. So when you strip all this down, you're left with, there's your wheel bearing. So that wheel bearing normally goes in there, like that. So that isn't in the best of state, so we've obviously had to replace it. I'll just quickly make sure there's nothing on the flange face. Also clean up where there's a circlip goes, and we'll show you how to put it back in with this tool. I don't think that many DIY people will have that tool, to be fair, like. Put a little bit of that in. Right. So, new wheel bearing. That's the ABS ring pickup. Look at Andrew, behind the camera there. Behind the scenes, Andy. That in there's got to go towards the ABS sensor. Get a new circlip, new nut for the front. So on this car, ABS sensor's on the back, so that needs to go in that way, like that. Obviously that is a pressed fit, won't go in just by hand. So now we're going to get some gear to put this in. I'll use the old bearing to get the right size spacer. Let's have a look. I would say that one there. I'll use that one there. So if you look on there, I make sure I'm pressing on the outside face. I don't really pressing on the middle where that is. Obviously that's a very sensitive ring, magnetic pickup. And then you've got the inner race there. I don't want to press on that, so I want to press perfectly on that bit there. So now that's on there, I need something to pull it through with. So hopefully, will this go on there? Yeah, that fits on there, perfect. So what I'll do is just let the pressure off here. That'll go on there. I'll take this off here. I'll make up a little rig to pull this in. It just makes your life a bit easier, and it's definitely easier than using the press because everything's square when you use this tool. So that screws into there. Like I say, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people at the home DIY man using this, but if you have got a garage or a workshop, this tool might be, it's not expensive, but you're definitely going to save yourself a lot of time and hassle using it. So I would always recommend having one. That goes on there. So let's hope this works. If not, I'll make a right twat of myself. That goes on there. That goes on there. And then your nut goes on there. So you just push that through, wind your nut all the way up so you've got enough stroke on the ram to pull that back in. Right. So hopefully, I say hopefully, this all goes in nice and square. Yes, Taylor.
There's a fella in reception asking for.
Is he big?
The garage just told me.
Sound. I'll be out in 5 minutes. Right, once you nip all that up, you got that plate on there, which is just pressing on the outside race. Got that there, which is letting the ram pull back through. So hopefully when I push this pedal, this should start going in there. It should go in nice and square.
Wow.
Give us 2 minutes. Mental.
Just roll out of the car.
Aye, aye. Right. So that's going nice and square, and that piece there is still allowing it to push in, so you can hear it just going in nice and tight, and then we'll feel the pressure start coming up and we'll stop. That's it, pressure's up. Take that off. Wind that off there. That's all in nice. And the circlip will still go in perfect as well. Like I say, this tool will do it on the car, which saves a lot of time on some things. But on this, it's so easy to take the hub off. It's easy just to put it on there. You're going to make some noise. What sort of noise are you going to make, Andy? Rattle, rattle, ugga dugga. Right. So that's like that. Put that like that. New circlip. I absolutely despise these. Tap. Little tiny tap. I think there's something stuck under there. Or is there? definitely RAF in here. Right, there we go. I'm trying to do that without touching that ABS ring. Right, that's in all the way around. Then what we'll do is we'll pull that flange in, pull it in a flange in, after Andy's just braided to death.
Drive shaft, stroke brake, get the tool on the job.
That tool will take it straight out for you. We're going to put this in a flange in and that'll be ready to go back on the car. Knock it off, Ed. Here I say. Tally here I say. Right, so circlips in now. So now we need the actual drive flange, which is that's the drive flange. It's obviously where your disc bolts onto and your wheel bolts onto that. So that needs to go on the outside. But then what we need to do is make sure we push off the inside flange, not the outside this time, to keep that compressed together. So we've got one of those. That's perfect. Is that perfect? I don't want something slightly smaller. No, that's all right. Yep. Right. So same again. But we're going to push off both flanges this time. So that goes on there. So just make sure that goes in there. Lovely, right. So that goes on there. Perfect. That goes in there. We're going to use this back one on this one. No, we weren't. It was a different one. That one there. Put our nut back on. We'll keep staff comments to a minimum, please. Right, so hopefully I want that a little bit more square than that. Just a touch off. That's better. That's nice and square. So you come round this side, Ed, lift that up there, look. You'll see it's pulling that drive flange in. Not taking any effort really. If it's tight and notchy all the way, it's normally going in not right, and you should be able to spin that nice and freely. That's stopped, obviously the noise has stopped. Even that's, I would say that's probably got about 4 or 5 ton of there. Still really free, you can turn that. So what we'll do is take the pressure off. Take our nut off, it is too hot in here, we need to get the fan on.
Got no fans?
Got no fans. Right, so nut off. That off. So turn that flange really freely. You can see if you look, that also turns that ABS ring on the back there. So what I'm going to do is just put this back on the vehicle. Like I say, normally we can do this on the vehicle. So I'll just put that in there. On this, it's easier, I think, to get it on the ball joint first. I'll give it a little tap. That's it. Shaft in. Make sure there's no debris on that ring. And then obviously this is your upright. That can just go straight on there. We've got a couple of bolts. Just remember which way they went. That's that in. There's your nut. There's obviously two of those. That's the other one there. And that there is pretty much done. What I'll do is put the new nut on, which came in the kit. So that should wind on nice and freely and pull that shaft in. So that there is the ABS sensor. That's got to go back in. So that goes in that little hole. And that lines up obviously with that ring on the back. And there's a little Allen key screw that holds that in. So once that's in, just give it a tiny little nip. That's for your brake pad wear sensor. That goes over the top of there and into there. So I'm going to leave this job here because I didn't actually start this job. I just got the job of coming and putting the tool on basically for the wheel bearing. Just got used to that. Nearly made a mistake there, look upside down. That goes in there. Then we've got a nut for that somewhere. And that is for that. I'll get tightened up with the ratchet properly. So what I'm going to do is let Taylor put this back together, because he basically got to this point and I stripped the rest out just for the bearing tool. I put all the gear back on the trolley every time, make sure that I'm not losing any gear, because all these different bits of spaces and everything are a lot of money, and we want to keep the whole set as it is. So what I'm going to do is put this back together, and then this afternoon we'll do a walk around and see what's been going on for the day, and we'll see you there after lunch. Thanks very much. Cheers. Is that okay, Eddie B? Aye. Where's that fucking thing gone? Ed, we'll do a thing on there then, on that Discovery. We'll do another thing on here. Let's have a little look at it, shall we? What you found? Leaking from the sump. Right, let Gary know. Tell me once. Are you health check the rest of the van?
Front pads and disc, 2 front tyres.
Can't tell Gaz and tell him to get it all thought. Right, Andy's just asked us. He has a problem with the drive shaft, which is always a problem on these.
And they're a nightmare.
They are a nightmare.
Sometimes you have to leave them in.
That there, we've never actually used this on this job, so if it doesn't work, don't cry about it. But this tool has also got, it can pull things out and it can push things as well at the same time. So we're going to use this to basically push that drive shaft out of the hole. Hopefully it works. Oh no, 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 son.
no, no,
Oh no, no,
no,
no, no, no, no, no, no. So, use this tool backwards. You take that cap off there, and there, you basically put different adapters in. So them adapters is in this little tray here. And bear in mind, we've not long had this tool, so whatever we do, we are just winging it. So then you slide that in, and then that just comes out to wherever you need to go. And we'll put that in there.
Oh, I thought it's screwed onto the
That's to pull them back in.
Roger.
So not only does it push the shafts out, this will pull them back in, because pulling them back in is actually sometimes harder than doing that. So once that's all the way in, you then just screw that little thing out. Easier said than done if you've got fat fingers. Not that I've got fat fingers, like. So once that's touching that, this will probably go off with a bit of a bang. I think it'll take a bit of weight to do it. I'll put that actually back a couple of threads. Plug your power pack thing back in. There's probably going to be about 300 comments of everybody telling us that we're doing it wrong, but unfortunately it's winging it all the way.
Everybody knows better.
Yep.
We'll always manage.
Every time. So a bit of a bang. That's going back in there. This definitely sees goods banging all the way. Right, so let's push that in.
Lovely. To the other one.
Yeah. We'll just keep that in one piece rather than stripping it back down, because we're going to do exactly the same job on the other side. Lovely. Just going to repeat the process exactly the same as if we're on the drink, and he's going to stick a nut on it. Yo. Yes, mate, aye. Lovely.
There you go, sir.
Let's go for it. Oof, that is tight. Up. There we go. So basically you could use a hammer and absolutely just smash that to death, but then the drive shafts need good, end up replacing the drive shaft, things like that. Costs us time and money and stuff, so we don't want to do that. And that there is out. So it's took no real effort, done no damage at all. Wait till that ram's come off, just unplug that. So the tool, even though this tool's a lot of money, it gets used quite a bit, more than we thought actually. And it does save a lot of hassle, a lot of damage, a lot of noise. So all round, hasn't been a bad.
Happier people.
Happier people. Right, so this time is definitely getting put away for the day. And we will see after lunch. Lovely. Calling Captain Manbag.
Full of 50s.
Right, okay, back in the workshop. I've just had to get slightly changed because, well, I was that dirty, or it looked like I'd been down a mine shaft all day. We're going to head that way around the workshop. There's nothing to show you in the bike room because I only had 2 minutes to even get in there. We've got a NEPS fan in, so pretty much every video I reckon there's got to be a NEPS fan in. This is in just for every now and again it doesn't start. So I think it's possibly going to be an earth or a dodgy starter motor, but we're going to get onto that probably Monday morning, so that might even make next week's video. But it is, bloody hell, we've only got 5 minutes to go of today's shift, so that definitely won't be getting looked at today. On, yet again, another milk float. So this one's just had padded disc tyres. I believe it's had a shocker. What else does it have? Wheel bearing, it's had everything. They've got to be one of the most abused vehicles in the country, so even I was shocked at like putting a clutch in it. Between 15 and 20,000 miles for a clutch. Bear in mind that we're getting the same van at Doblo in as a taxi. Clutch will probably do 120,000 miles. I think they do carry a lot of weight with the milk when they're full, and every time you see them, they're definitely trying to get that milk due as fast as possible. This is a friend of ours' cars. He's under it now. He's put an engine in over the weekend. It's a Dodge Ram 5.7 Magnum, I think they call it. So anyway, it's got the bottom end's knocking, and he's going to put a new engine in that, and hopefully get on the road. I'm trying to buy one of these, but an SRT 10.1 at the moment for a work truck. So that's the Dodge Viper engine in that truck. Hopefully I'll win the bid on that over the weekend, and then we'll go and collect it. This little Fiat 500. Little Fiat 500, so these are common for, there's a pipe runs from the master cylinder to the slave cylinder on the clutch side of it. So it comes down here, and for some reason there's a metal connector, like a joiner, and then there's an anti-vibration coil in the pipe. So where that metal connector is, that rots, and then when it splits, it actually lets the fluid out, and you get air in, and the pedal goes to the floor. So we just replace it from front to back with all new stuff, get that done. But unfortunately the pipe has been on back order for over a week, but it's come on the ramp now because the pipe is coming Monday morning. So the Q7, we've had this in before for little bits of work, just coming in for a general health check, make sure it's all right. I mean, this car is getting old now, but this is my favourite of the Audi SUV. I liked this shape Q7 when they were fairly new, then I went off them, but this colour's just brought it right back. It's got the right colour, it's got all the black little accents on it, black windows, the really nice looking wheels. The only thing I would have done was I would have had those side steps black, but that car is definitely a win for me. Even the extra little like spats on the side, I really like that car. I don't know what it is, probably not a lot of money now, but I think this day that would have been a really nice thing. So that one there is getting front pads and discs. So yeah, it was big lip on the inside of that disc. Pads nearly down to the metal. They're getting changed out. Also, customer originally came in for an oil leak. Obviously he's leaking now because he's took the plug out, but the sump's porous, so you can see all the front, that's rotten. So that's going to get the sump, 2 front tyres, and the pads and discs all sorted. Then we'll head round to over here. Get yourself away, so.
I'm just blanking some holes, mate.
Blanking some holes? What, we're doing? Painting it?
No.
So Ken doesn't drop a socket down it?
Don't want anything falling in any holes.
Aye.
On the weekend, if you know what I'm saying.
Aye. So.
It's got no blanks in it.
No. This is a brand new 2 litre Ingenium. So that's to replace that one. We've done a few of these now actually, and we're getting them from Land Rover. We'll probably only use genuine on these just because they're problematic even when they're brand new out the factory. So if you get a cheaper recon, I think you've got to open yourself up to a world of pain. But as you can see, this only comes with a high pressure fuel pump. Everything else is missing. So everything's stripped off that engine now, and that's a big massive pile of bits on the floor. So all that's going to need to get cleaned up, all new gaskets, back onto this one, then put the new clutch and flywheel, gearbox back on, transfer case in, all that. Once it's all built up, that'll go back into the engine bay, then the cradle in. It's quite a big job, one of these. There's a lot of bits to it. New diesels now, we were just talking before there. It'll take longer to swap the bits over onto the new engine than it would actually to take the engine out and put it back in. There's a sensor, and there's a temperature sensor, a pressure sensor, and a backup for every single thing on this engine. Has got about 5 sensors, and they all need to come out stripped, cleaned, new gaskets and seals, all back in, because the last thing I want to do is put a brand new engine in and then have something leaking. Right. That's a crate. That's the crate that the motor just came in. Just took it out of there, but we send the old one back to Land Rover. So once that's completely bare, we'll chuck that old engine into here. Land Rover will come, pick it up and take it away. There's the little thing on the side of it. 154 kilos. I don't know if I can pick that up. Right. So outside, there's not a lot happening outside actually. It's very, very, very good. At least on the car park on a Friday is the better. So the XJS Jag, I brung that here last night. I stayed back, I wanted to do it myself, so I've done the tractor end, tightened up that wheel bearing. It shows you how old it is, you can actually still adjust the wheel bearing, and done the alignment on it, because it was miles away. I was sick of driving down the motorway with that. Took it for a quick drive. It's perfect. I thought I'd fell out of love with the car actually, because I'd never used it for a couple of weeks, but as soon as I got back in, I thought, yeah, I love it. I don't know why I parked that Discovery there. I had to move it before, so that's just stuck there. This one's had a new speedo head put in it, and then we've recalibrated the mileage back to what it was originally, because this had a mobiliser problem and it was coming through the clocks. So basically everything runs through the clocks. Wow, that sun is bright. Everything runs through the clocks. We've put a new speedo in, recalibrated it, coded in the immobiliser, car's running perfect. So that just needs a test drive really to make sure there's no niggles or anything like that, and then a couple of bits of trims on the dash putting in. This is in from a local recovery company, so this is up and down the country all day long, to be honest with you. The gearbox eventually just went bang, so we're waiting on a gearbox coming today, but at this time it does say up till 6:15, so hopefully we'll get that gearbox today, because this is Andy's job on Monday. So basically Andy would normally be doing the Discovery engine on Monday, but there's a couple of those gaskets and seals that we need have gone into back order, so we'll have to wait until they come before we start building that back up. We don't really want to use any second-hand gaskets or parts. This one is in for rear crossover pipe on the back of the engine, a couple other bits and bobs. It's actually not a bad looking car for a Disco 3. It's obviously off-road, big tyres, it's been lifted up, tent, roof box thing and everything. What else do we have, Eddie B? Look at this, death row there, nothing on it. Unbelievable. Someone's just abandoned his Merc there. That there was in for the, what was that in for, Ed? That was in for EGR valve. That is now all done. This has just been recovered in, ironically. So that is a non-start. It spin over pretty fast. I think it could be an issue with timing. Hopefully it's an easy fix, because we're not taking any sort of bigger jobs on at the moment, certainly in this month. So that'll be going into next month if they do need it back. But luckily they do have, I think they do have a spare van, like a pool van. So even, believe it or not, the RAC, and they are kept very, very well maintained, even the RAC breakdown, and then they bring it here. This enormous Iveco, this is luckily it's a 22 plate van. These really do look after their vans as well. This has just had front pads and discs, and it actually needs a wheel bearing, unfortunately, but with it being 22 plate, we've just advised the customer to go back and get that done from Iveco under warranty. The only thing is, I think Iveco do have a long lead time at the moment, so if that lead time is going to take that into next month, then we will try and get them in, and we'll just put a bearing in, and obviously they'll pay for it, and it's sometimes it's easier to pay for the thing repaired than it is to be that van off the road. So the truck, that had a bit of a disaster this week. So the motor that brings the ramps up and down, that just stopped working, unfortunately. I think it's working now. Yep. It's working? Yep. Paul basically stripped down the old one. We found that I would say it was beyond economical repair. Oh, look at that. Perfect. So, them ramps come down and then also straight back up. So, what happened was I put a van on, a big Luton van actually, that needed a new engine. So that's gone to that's gone to our storage unit. And then when I was lifting the rams back up, I could hear the thing was making a funny noise. So unbeknown to us, what's happened is there's been a little leak on the power pack. And that leak has then filled the electric motor, the pump, with fluid, and then it all went downhill from there. So luckily, can I get this on here? Just before I forget, Ed, because I know what'll happen. I'll end up driving down the road and then someone will be eating a ramp. So, the update on the truck as well. So bought some new alloys for it. So we've got some Alcoa Durabright, I think they're called. Got some new tyres coming. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these tyres, all these wheels. I just wanted it to look a little bit trick. So, some new tyres. We've got the alloys already, they're here. All new stainless steel wheel nuts and everything. We've also ordered the new side boxes because these are feeling a little bit sorry for themselves and they're not the best. So we've ordered all brand new aluminium. They should be here hopefully middle of next week. Paul can get them mounted in. And then there's the new pump unit there. I don't know if that's easy to see.
Yeah, yep.
So basically looks exactly the same as the other one. But what was happening was, out of this solenoid here, it was leaking, it was coming down here, filling that motor up. The electric motor, obviously the electric motor full of oil is not good. The motor started smoking, making funny noises, and all went downhill. But luckily we managed to get one overnight. And a lot cheaper than I thought. I was expecting it to be I expect at least 1,500 quid repair. I think, off the top of my head, it was less than 400 quid. So, touch wood, it's been extremely reliable. Obviously, a few videos ago, we put the new deck on, painted that, put these new boxes on. The winch has been changed. This truck's like Trigger's brush, but it's been super reliable. And touch wood, this thing stays with us for a long time, but it will look better with this new alloys on. Well, then I think that's it. That's all we've got. The only thing, we've had a lot of questions about, so ironically there's one there, and I think in fact they're all over the car park. We've had a lot of customers asking why, when they're ringing up for insurance for the new Land Rover, or even when they're renewing their policy, sometimes the insurance company that they're with is not willing to actually renew that policy. So that's basically a few reasons. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some of that data, find out why, and find out how you can get around that. Maybe add some extra security things like that. But we'll put all that together and we'll speak about that in the next video. But we definitely want to see you next time. And remember that you need to like, share, subscribe, and 25,000 subscribers, someone's going to win that Disco 3. So I best get my finger out, get in there, and get those parts on I showed you fitted. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on episode 2. Cheers.
Cars fixed, cars left, car right, get it right. Car fixed, cars left, car right, get it right. Cars fixed, cars left, cars right, get it right. Cars fixed, cars left, cars right, get it right. It's another day, yeah, I'm fixed, card in. I don't roll around on 06. I like to keep it up with the 5th. I know my new car fixed. I know garage stuff from front mine. My family goes there all the time. Sometimes get discount if you're a regular one. Mechanics to work 8 to 5. If you bring in work, they can work all night. They order pieces, delivery comes right. Even if it's a mix light, spin that thing right back. Fixing the wheels and pads. Get your service checked, dated and signature signed. Get your MOT to a green light. Trust me, the work is tight. You can ask my gal Ralph. He'll put you in for a date and time.
And if you're late, they'll say it's fine. Just make sure you arrive on time. Revving cars till you hear that chime. If you don't rev, then you gotta define. Take a break when it's lunchtime.
Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it?
My car's broke down. I need a repair right now. Let me call Jake, my friend, he's around. He won't come if he's not around, so I gotta call Team Valley MOT, but I don't do that. OFT, let's take the situation seriously. I rev too hard, don't be mad at me.
Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it? Team Valley MOT, my car's broke down, can you come and fix it?
Where you at? 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 Where you at?